You're into your shows, right? Well, then listen up. If you have Xfinity Internet, entertainment starts at free with Flex, so you can get really into your shows. Find your favorites faster with just your voice. The Office. From Peacock to HBO Max and Disney Plus, the whole squad's here. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Man, he's moving. Xfinity. It's a way better way to watch.
Restrictions apply. Subscriptions required to access streaming services, including Disney Plus. Requires postpaid Xfinity Internet, excluding Internet Essentials. One device included. Additional devices $5 a month.
Mattress Warehouse knows that buying a mattress can be tough. With so many choices, where do you start? Introducing Bed Match, a patented diagnostic system that determines your pressure points and recommends the mattresses that are best for your individual sleep needs. And it's found only at Mattress Warehouse. Come try Bed Match at a Mattress Warehouse near you. Visit sleephappens.com for locations and get free next day delivery on select purchases.
Mattress Warehouse, sleephappens.com.
And we are off and running on a Thursday evening, live from the Circa Sportsbook. Another busy night with a Western Conference final game underway, and do or die for the Las Vegas Golden Knights heading into the final period, and they are trailing 2-1. That's Jeff Parles. I'm Tim Murray with you for the next 3 hours, and always an enjoyable time this time of year. And we've got some action going on, nothing too crazy, but a good start for the Los Angeles Clippers. But, as we kind of expected, this game right around that number, which was 1 for the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul has returned, just 1 point so far in this one. But in the most recent play, Jeff, you see what he brings to the table, picking up his 5th assist of the game. We've got a tie ball game in Los Angeles, 33 apiece.
Yeah, look, this has been kind of a sluggish start. A very sloppy play from Phoenix so far. And look, the fact that they're tied right now at 33, Tim, is a pretty good sign if you're a Phoenix backer so far. Yeah, and if you waited to take in the Phoenix Suns, I was tempted, did not pull the trigger, but after the first quarter, it was 29-21, Jeff, here at Circa. You could have grabbed Phoenix +5 after the first quarter, and now we have ourselves a tie ball game midway through the second quarter. On the prop market, yours truly is only on one play, which is DeAndre Ayton, and I think everybody else in the world is on this play as well, just to keep rolling with DeAndre Ayton. 10 points in the first quarter. His over-under, 15.5, juice to the over, but at Circa, where I played at -120 for DeAndre Ayton. So a good start for Ayton as he played all 12 minutes in the first quarter, so getting a little bit of rest right now for the Phoenix Suns as the Suns take a 2-point lead, and Ty Lue's going to call timeout. And this one has been back and forth, as I mentioned. First quarter, Devin Booker feeling it a little bit, has a mask on with the broken nose, went 0 for 6 from the field, and Chris Paul, 0 for 3 from the field. He continues his struggles in his first game back in almost 2 weeks. 0 for 6 right now. He was 0 for 3 in the first quarter, but the Phoenix Suns leading by 2. Again, this is a pretty good sign for Phoenix.
I know.
Again, they have not played well so far. It looked like Chris Paul was taking a while to get back in this, Tim, and right now, if you want the Suns, you have to lay the most you've had to lay at any point tonight. You're laying 2.5 at DraftKings.
Yeah, and that's that's what this game is going to be about. And I think there were a bunch of people that were waiting to see if they could get the Clippers in game I know you were waiting to see if you could grab the Clippers in game at some point.
I don't like the way this has gone. It would be one of those where if Phoenix smoked them early and then you're getting a lot of points, you come back with that. But I don't know. I just don't like the way that the way this has gone, where Phoenix has not been significantly better so far, if not the Clippers have been a little bit better, and yet Phoenix is ahead. And now Clippers here at Circa +3, but only +110 on the money line there, Tim.
So you've seen an 8-point swing in a half of a quarter, because it was Clippers -5 after the first quarter, and now here at Circa it is a 3. So we'll get back to that game here momentarily. But both you and I, a little prayer and a hope with the hometown team, the Vegas Golden Knights, trailing 2-1 after 2 periods up in Montreal, Jeff. We'll see if the Golden Knights, what they have in them, because right now they find themselves down by a goal. Shea Weber scored the game's first goal. Riley Smith responded 48 seconds later for the Golden Knights. As you see right there on the graphic, anytime goal plus 285. Shea Weber scores the game's first goal, and then Cole Caulfield, who has been tremendous. The stat on the broadcast, he has 4 goals in this series, and Las Vegas forwards have 4 goals in this series. It has not been great for the top 6 there for the Golden Knights, but only down 1. See if they can get it done. Both you and I took the plus money. Plus 280 is what it opened at here at Circa. So we got 2 big games to keep an eye on. Let's get this night rolling. It is the nightcap here on VSiN. And here we go. We've got a Western Conference Finals to keep our eyes on, and the odds-on favorite entering this round to win the Stanley Cup, Jeff Parles, is on the ropes, down 3-2, down 2-1 with 20 minutes to go. Can the Golden Knights pull it off, and will we see a team that had more losses than wins make it to the Stanley Cup final? We are just 20 minutes away from possibly seeing that. That's what it is, Jeff. It is comical. It is worthy of a snicker, because this team, if you included overtime losses, went 24-32 in the regular season. But all that matters is what happens in the postseason. They beat the Maple Leafs, they beat the Jets, and now up 3-2 and up 2-1 in the heading into the third period.
It is beyond logic what has happened here in this postseason with Montreal. Again, their season was done. It was over. Down 3-1 against Toronto. It was done. I mean, they were 12-1 to come back and win that series. 12-1. You don't see prices like that normally, even with teams down 3-1. But guess what? They came back, won that series, smoked the Jets.
Well, they won that series 4-1. Winnipeg came back. No. Our
graphic is not right on that. It was 4-3 against Montreal, against Toronto. Trust me on that one. We don't want to anger Maple Leafs fans even more than they have to be angered. Sweep of Winnipeg, total beatdown of the Jets, and then this. I mean, look, they are taking a team that, again, I thought the 2 best teams in this tournament going into the tournament were Colorado and Vegas, and the only question mark was, because whoever won that was going to be the remaining number 1 seed, regardless of who came out of the rest of the NHL. It was, all right, does that series whoever wins that series, take too much out of their tank? And I don't even think that's been the case, Tim. Vegas has just been getting beat. Montreal's been for the majority of play in this series now, and we can say it, now that we're more than halfway through, we have a period to go in Game 6, Montreal has been the better team for the majority of play in this series. This is not a fluke result. It just isn't. And when you have a borderline Hall of Fame goalie like Carey Price, who's standing on his head yet again tonight, crazy things happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs all the time, and this would be the craziest. And again, this would rival, they would be in the Stanley Cup final. This would basically be the worst team to make a final in one of the big 4 North American sports, Tim, since the 06 Cardinals, who made it with 83 wins. They won the World Series that year. Montreal will try to eclipse them. If they win the Cup, would be their first one since '93.
And we got to find the tape of Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. He joined us, I want to say, after the comeback by the Canadians to win that series in 7. And he said, I'm going to paraphrase, but basically he said, I don't think they'll win it, but I like what I've seen in Montreal. And at that point, you still could have got them around 25-1 to win the Stanley Cup. And now they are 1 win away from heading to the Stanley Cup final, where they will face the winner of tomorrow's Game 7, which is the Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll get to that. But right now, in Los Angeles, 36-35. The Clippers beating the Suns. And if you play the over in this one, Jeff, it is not a great start for you. This thing opened 220.5, or closed, I should say, 220.5. And as you see right there, for those of you watching on vsin.com, 206.5 is where we stand right now in an in-game total. It has been, as you described it, not very pretty so far in this one. You look at the way the Clippers are shooting from three, just 3 of 15 from three so far in this game, 36% overall from the field, and the Suns are 4 for 14 from three. So neither team getting a great field. Jay Crowder hit a couple early threes in this one. DeAndre Ayton really effective in that first quarter, as he has been this entire series, as he had 10 quick points. And I know a lot of people, I think I saw the DraftKings splits out there that the most bet on prop today was the Ayton over at 15.5.
By the way, your boy Zubac has 9 and 10 already.
I know, he's playing well.
Which, by the way,
he's shutting me up.
You could have got a double-double on Zubac at 5-1.
Whew.
You need one more point 4-1 on Zubac double-double. Again, you only need one more point. That would, in all honesty, that would fit your narrative beautifully if he doesn't score again the rest of this game. But again, if you're a Phoenix backer, you got to feel really good right now, because they have been pretty sloppy this whole game. And Jay Crowder, of course, bricks a three, but they're up 1 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, my plan was to, and I didn't pull the trigger on Phoenix at the end of the first quarter because, again, I didn't like the way that they looked.
Vegas scored.
Hey, Vegas scored. You know how we know? The crowd behind us, the half second in front of our monitor here, they go crazy. They're going crazy, as you see on the screen of vsin.com.
A minute and 8 seconds
that's good.
Into the third period. And Jeff,
that's good for the
plus 280.
Let's go for the second straight night where Tim Murray gets a bloated price after the second period. Let's go for that.
Of teams trying to avoid elimination.
Yes. Very surprising.
What are you looking at?
No, I'm just looking at the replay over there.
We have the game.
I know, but it was right in my plan of sight. But just doink it off the.
Hold on one second.
The stomach. No, but it was.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But it's right in my line of sight. But look, just.
I'm like, Jeff, what are you looking at over there?
Man.
We got 8 screens in front of us.
But I don't have to contend with the light in the way. But regardless, a big answer for VGK in a game where, again, Montreal's been better in this game for the most part. Again, the 2 goals that Montreal scored, the power play goal was off a horrible turnover. Perry has obviously one of the hardest slap shots ever in the history of the game. Easy goal. And then Caulfield, I mean, has just been incredible. Mm-hmm. So, again, 2-2. Pressure's on Vegas. Again, this could very much be like Game 5 against Colorado, where, again, Colorado dominated that game up 2-0 going into the third period. 2 goals quickly in succession to force overtime, and then the winner in OT by Stone, who has been a non-factor in this entire series.
Alec Martinez scores the goal. Pietrangelo and Carlson with the assists, as that just a minute and 8 seconds into the third period, and 2-2 is the score. Carey Price, 22 saves on 24 shots so far, and Robin Lehner, as most anticipated, in net 23 shots on goal, 21 saves so far.
By the way, your guy Zubac just completed his double-double with 3 minutes to go in the first half. There you go, Tim.
Mr. Zubac.
See, you just gotta bet that in now. Hey, he's your guy.
He is. I mean, you know how we had this love-hate relationship, at least I did, with the Clippers all throughout the first round against the Dallas Mavericks, and now it's been Zubac, and he was getting to the line, being aggressive. He's got 11 points, 10 rebounds so far. He's been playing very well. I would like to see, even though we're ahead of pace on the DeAndre Ayton over tonight, I would like to see him, if we get 12 by the half, that'd be nice, running that pick and roll. Chris Paul continues to struggle. I was listening a little bit to the broadcast, and they were curious, how active had Chris Paul been with being in the health and protocol. He was at his home in Los Angeles. I believe, if memory serves me correct, he was part of that horse competition when we just hit the pandemic. And he's got, of course, as you would imagine, he's got a pretty nice setup there. So I'm sure he was getting up some shots, not the same. But Chris Paul right now sitting with 7 points on the night, but does have 6 assists to this point. But what a low-scoring game we are witnessing right now. If you were sitting on the under, you're feeling terrific at 220.5, just hoping there is no overtime. But this has been really a ugly game so far to this point. But the Suns now find themselves up 4.
Again, if I were a Suns backer right now, I'd feel great. I'd feel absolutely great. They have not played well in this half, and yet they're going to be probably going to be up going into the half here, just because the Clippers are not making shots either. This is going to be very interesting to see what the second half line is, because obviously Phoenix closing a 1-point favorite. Tim, I would probably make the second half if it lands at this 4. I would make it a pick. I really would, with the way this has trended. That would be my guess. I don't think it'll be a pick. I think it probably.
You think second half would be a pick?
Yeah, so 4 for the game. I think if it lands right here, if it gets any more, it's going to obviously be the Clippers laying.
Yeah.
I think it's going to 4 is probably the number where it ends up landing, regardless of where this lands. Unless, again, if Phoenix is up 2, it wouldn't shock me if it's Clippers.
Yeah,
plus 1.
not to nitpick or anything. I would say if my guess would be Clippers -1. I mean, that is right on a pick.
That's not bad either.
That's not me going on a limb and saying, Jeff, Jeff, what do you think? How dare you say a pick?
It's 3.5 right now, so I mean, it wouldn't.
So we're splitting the difference.
Yeah, we're splitting the difference. It wouldn't shock me if it's Clippers -0.5 if it's a 4-point game, but that is irrelevant now because it's up to 6.
And that's, man. Aaron and I were talking about it when we looked back over our shoulders and we saw that it was, 29-21 was the end of the first quarter, and the Suns were getting 5. And we both looked at that number, kind of paused and said, maybe. And then we didn't play it, and now they're up 6 with 32 seconds left. Now, Paul George's got some free throws here. One thing that I pointed out on Twitter today, and we'll see if it comes home. I didn't ultimately play it because it was juiced incredibly high, but Reggie Jackson, his over-under, at least at the Westgate and on DraftKings today for 3-pointers, Jeff, was 2.5. In 13 of the last 14 games, he has gone over 2.5 threes. Now, once again, as I tweeted out, is the juice worth the squeezing? That's the big question, because it was, -165 at Westgate. I think it was -180-ish at DraftKings. But, I mean, that's a guy that has gone over that prop 13 of the last 14 games. Now, the interesting thing about that prop was that it wasn't a Steph Curry-like moment where, he's going to 6, 7, 8. No, Reggie Jackson is pretty consistent on his 3-point attempts. I'll read them off for you. It was 3, 4, 3, 3, 0, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 4, 3. So consistently right around that 3. So here at Circa, the over-under on Reggie Jackson threes was actually 3.5 plus 160 to the over. So you could have actually middled it on 2 pretty high juice situations, but. Yeah, we will see. Now, Paul George dunk right before the half. So now we're going to go into the locker rooms with a 2-point Phoenix Suns lead.
Well, maybe.
Maybe, if they get it in. Yeah, they do.
Now, there we go. Booker from 85 feet. Is it hitting the popcorn guy?
So 48-46, Phoenix walks into the locker room. I know there was a lot of people out there, Jeff, who took Clippers first half, and that obviously does not come home. They were a underdog for the game, but they were a favorite in the first half, -1.5. That theory of down 0-2, going to come out, take the lead. Now, you, of course, covered the first quarter with ease as they led by 8, but if you bet the Clippers first half -1.5, first half -135 money line, that's a loser because the Phoenix Suns walk into the locker rooms with a 48-46 lead. Now you think about that halftime spread. Now I think you look at Phoenix -1. That would be my guess. I think to get this to a full game 3, my guess would be Phoenix -1.
I would agree. Maybe 3.5.
So maybe 1.5.
Maybe 1.5 second half. Maybe. That's where I would expect it to land, with it being 2 here at halftime. And again, I'm trying to get off the preconceived notion I had before the game that I thought the Clippers were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
From the evidence I've seen, I would lean towards Phoenix winning the game, but not betting the 3.5 for the game based off that halftime line. Too.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they didn't play well, but the Clippers also shot incredibly poorly. Both teams shot poor. I mean, look at the scores, 48-46. So both teams shot very poor in that first half.
Clippers were worse from
Clippers,
the field.
3 of 17 from 3. Pat Beverly, who shouldn't be shooting 5 threes, by the way, but he did shoot 5 threes. 1 for 5. Reggie Jackson, 1 for 4. Paul George, 1 for 6 from 3 in that. And then Nicholas Batum, 0 for 1. Now, conversely, the Phoenix Suns also did not shoot very well at all. 5 of 18 from 3, 19 of 46 from the field. Yeah, 48-46, your halftime score between the Suns and the Clippers, as the Suns outscored the Clippers by 10 in that second quarter and held the Clippers to just 17 in the second quarter.
So it is 3 for the game. So Phoenix laying 1, and it makes sense based off the 2. Now, I know you've gotten burned by this in the past. Okay. Which I know is the great way that you want me starting any sentence.
Sure do.
But the Westgate, of course, here in town gives you second half money lines.
Mm-hmm.
Do we take the Clippers +2 for the game, +110, or do we take the point at 3?
If I had to play it, I'd probably play the Clippers. If I had to.
Would you take the +2, the +2 for the game, +110, or the +3? -110.
+110.
You take the +2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would take the plus. I'm not going to play it, but I would play. I could see the Clippers winning this game, hitting one of their hot streaks like they've done so many times in the second half. By the way, 2-2 is the score. Knights and Canadiens. Alec Martinez, 1:08 into that third period, and now, as you see it, -132 for the Knights on the money line. At DraftKings here at Circa, -125. So I'd say that +208 that we were, +280 that we were able to grab. Feeling pretty good about that situation. A lot going on. Just start getting things started. It's the Nightcap here on VSiN.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir,
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our 4th of July special. The new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only $8.99. Plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Halftime out in Los Angeles with a Phoenix Suns 48-46 lead. You look at what it was at the first half. Clippers were a 1.5-point first half favorite. Total went off 108 here at Circa. That was an easy victory for those who had the under 108 in the first half, as we come home with, as we do the quick math, 94 points in the first half there, Jeff Parles. Pretty easy. Easy
not
win.
bad. Not a bad non-sweat there. And look, again, the one thing in this series, even in game one that went way over, the possessions have been a little bit lower than we would have expected here. They've been in the low 90s so far. Would have expected something probably high 90s at a minimum, probably even into the 100s. So another low possession game, and no one's making shots. That's a pretty good recipe for a first half under when that happens, too.
Yeah, and just taking a look at the prop market, who's in good shape, who's not in good shape. If you bet the Zubats double-double, as Jeff brought up, and I think I saw a couple people in our Twitter timelines, including...
Everyone had it, apparently, after it hit.
It's interesting how that always plays out. They weren't very loud and proud about taking Zubats earlier in the postseason, but today, they were all over it. But, hey, congrats to them cashing in on the 4-1 double-double, because he gets it by the half. I mean, talk about easy victory, halftime double-double. Zubats, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, so he has been playing exceptionally well. Other totals to take a look at. Devin Booker dealing with the mask. He is sitting with 7 points. Did have a late mid-range jumper in that half, Jeff, to get Phoenix 248 points, but just 2 for 10 from the field. We know that Devin Booker is certainly capable of going off at any time, but not an ideal start. You do wonder about the discomfort, the unusual feeling there with the mask on, but he has 7 points. Chris Paul sitting with 7 points as well. His over-under, 17.5. Were you surprised that, for the most part, Chris Paul totals really didn't adjust from him missing those 2 games and being away from the team for 11 days?
Not surprised on the assists.
8.5.
Not
and by the way, he has 8 assists.
Yeah,
so you're sitting in good shape.
You're going to win that unless if something really bad happens. I'm not surprised that didn't move. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see that point total go down to at least equal what DeAndre Ayton's is.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm a little surprised at. A 15.5 probably would have been, to me, what I would have expected it to be. I didn't bet any props tonight. Probably.
Wow!
Look
at you.
Look, I told you I wasn't gonna bet today, and I nearly.
Did you? Well, you already bet. You bet the Knights in game.
I bet the Knights before the.
What baseball game did you bet?
Oh, you don't want to know what I lost.
I do want to know.
You sure you want to embarrass me in front of the country on this one?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I do.
I bet the Orioles tonight, which was not a good idea. It was only down 9-0 in the second inning.
Is it the Krusty the Clown betting on the Washington Generals? They were due theory?
It was one of those where yes, that was they're due to win one on the road.
How many have they lost in a row? 20?
I have to double check that, but I believe it's 19 straight. 20 now? 20 now? Yeah. So it is great that we're legitimately going to have the 2 longest road losing streaks in a season in the same season.
We need we need that Krusty the Clown drop. But they were due, because that was it. But yeah, they lost 9-0. But hey, man, that's all good. We've all been there.
I mean, look, you could also go with the other Krusty line and just say send in the clowns for me. I mean, that's all you need to do.
We've all been there.
No. Hey, look, it's all right.
19 straight on red. It's got to come up black. Got to come up black.
It's another good way to sink your money too, there, Tim.
Yeah. So I love how you asked me. Do you want to embarrass me? Have you met me before? Of course.
I was giving you the out to be the good, to be the positive one today.
No. Come on. You have been the nice guy. You have been Mr. Positivity lately. 2-2 remains the score. Under 10 media timeout in Montreal. 8:40 to go in the third period. That money line creeping down a little bit for the Golden Knights, as it was minus 132 last check at DraftKings, now sitting there at minus 124. Alec Martinez got this sportsbook in a frenzy, scoring 1 minute and 8 seconds into the third period. And we'll see if we can get another Game 7. We've got a Game 7 all scheduled for tomorrow night down in Tampa. Hopefully, selfishly, there's a Game 7. Well, financially and just selfishly, because we want Game 7s Saturday night here in Las Vegas. 2-2 Canadians and the Knights. Halftime 48-46. Suns right now with the lead over the Clippers. It's the Nightcap here on VSiN.
This episode is brought to you by ESPN Plus. Dustin Poirier and Conor the Notorious McGregor will settle the score at UFC 264 on Saturday, July 10th, exclusively on ESPN Plus. After Conor McGregor defeated Poirier in 2014, Poirier evened the score in January, setting up the most highly anticipated rubber match in UFC history. UFC 264 is exclusively available to ESPN Plus subscribers for $69.99. Or sign up now to get UFC 264 and an ESPN Plus annual plan for $89.98. Visit espnplus.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by the NBA. Witness mind-bending competition on the biggest stage between the best players in the world, a place where legends are made. It's impossible jumps that seem to freeze in midair, and spectacular steals that you didn't see coming. It's that one play that lasts seconds that you will talk about for the rest of your life. And let's face it, it's the unpredictability of it all, never knowing when the next big moment will happen. Huge wins and crushed dreams. It's the drama of it all. You just can't make this stuff up. That's the NBA. That's game. The NBA playoffs are happening right now. Don't miss all the action.
We've got a new feature at vsin.com. Every day we're posting the latest betting splits on every game in the major sports with current odds and what percentage of bets and money are being placed on each game. Check this info daily to find out which games are seeing the most tickets written and if that matches the money coming in on those games to help you find a betting edge. And of course, we have all the odds, data, and analysis for every game as well. Start your next sports bet at vsin.com. Second half underway in Los Angeles, and Mr. Parles, 50-48 is our score. What was the closing line?
2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
So 1.5 for the second half. So a little bit of action coming in on the dog. I said I would, if I didn't play it, but I would have taken the Clippers. Come on, DeAndre Ayton. Let's go. 12 points. Here we go. Come on, DeAndre Ayton. I think that's my only bet in this game. Only bet. DeAndre Ayton over 15.5. I did make mention of it, but did not. Me and Aaron were talking about it. Didn't want to pull the trigger on the juiced Reggie Jackson, which right now looks like, hey, maybe the trend will end as he only has 1 3. Just missed a look at a 3 moments ago. Reggie Jackson 1 for 5. But both Mr. Parles and I on the Vegas Golden Knights coming back for a victory. Plus 280 at the end of the second period, down 2-1. It is 2-2, 5.5 minutes to go in the third period.
It was, I got 10 cents worse than you. So you actually had the best of the number there, Tim Murray. But look, it's not much has happened other than the 2 opportunities for the Canadiens off of poorly placed turnovers by VGK since that early goal for Martinez in this period. So 2-2, still there. Tim, we may be getting overtime yet again, which, again, for total bettors, if you get yourself to OT, if you had the 5.5, job well done. You can't lose. If you had the 5, you'll be looking at a push.
Yeah, and, this was a game where was it the same situation again? Yeah, looks like it.
Same as yesterday. Yep.
Same as yesterday. Circa the only place at 5.5, heavily juiced to the under, minus 150. Come on, DeAndre Ayton. And everywhere else was 5 juiced to the over. So we'll see what comes home right now. Like you said, you're really hoping for overtime if you have that 5, because some funny business could happen if a goal is scored here, empty netter, especially with the potential of it being elimination. Vegas is going to do everything in its power to try to tie the game up. There is some football news to get to as we monitor these games unfolding in front of us. And we're gonna talk to Brad Evans, our good friend. He is relocated. His set is all situated, so he's ready to go. He'll join us at the top of the hour. But a lot of people, rightfully so, have been critical of the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Was it the worst? One of the worst?
It was not good.
One of the worst. We'll just play it that way in the NFL. Now, when things are bad, you like to change it, but getting rid of David DeCastro today, I think, was surprising to many. So a former Pro Bowler in David DeCastro released with a non-football injury designation. The Steelers did sign former Pro Bowl guard Trey Turner today to a one-year deal. These are the 2020 starters that are gone. Left tackle, Alejandro Villanueva, started all 16 games last year. Gone. He's now a Baltimore Raven. Matt Filer, left guard, gone. Marquise Pouncey, gone. David DeCastro, gone. They did add a offensive lineman in the 3rd and the 4th round, couple in free agency, not for a ton of money, and they spent a first-round pick on a running back who weren't the quotes coming out of Pittsburgh that they're going to try to get him like 30 carries a game for Najee Harris? I love Najee Harris, and I think he's going to be really good, assuming he has a line in front of him. But good running backs don't alleviate poor offensive line play. I didn't go crazy over the pick like Warren Sharp and some others, thinking he was a horrendous pick. I love the talent that Najee Harris is. He was the best running back, in my opinion, in this draft class. But as we pull up those offensive rookie of the year odds that are currently at DraftKings, I want nothing to do with him at 5-1. Will he be their bell cow? Yes. Does he have a good offensive line? No. Does he have an aging quarterback? Yes. That has injury issues? Yes. No thanks on Najee Harris. Can running backs win this award? 100%. We've seen it multiple times. 2 years ago, not that I remember anything, and had Josh Jacobs at 10-1. No big deal. Gets hurt last 3 games, and Kyler Murray steals it from him. But running backs can win this award. Saquon Barkley won this award. Alvin Kamara won this award. Running backs can win this award, but at 5-1, pass. No thanks.
It should be a lot more than 5-1. That's all I'm going to say. It is a weird rookie of the year.
It's a loaded rookie of the year class
because it's fascinating to me that Trey Lance and Justin Fields have shorter odds than Zach Wilson.
I think that's wrong.
I agree with you. And again, I don't even think Zach Wilson has to be that great to have a legitimate shot to win this award. Because if the Jets somehow end up around 500, it's Zach Wilson's going to get credit, going to get a lot of credit for that.
I don't even know if it's necessarily the wins and the losses. Is he's going to start every game,
correct,
barring injury, and he's going to if so. To your point,
right.
If they're around 500, that means he's putting up some numbers.
That means he's probably playing pretty well. And look, of the quarterbacks, the only 2 are starting day one.
Trevor Lawrence,
are him and Lawrence.
Yep.
Trey Lance probably not starting day one.
No.
Justin Fields, we know, is not starting day one.
Now,
at least as of right now.
And I think you and I would agree that if we had the handicap at who will start first, Trey Lance or Fields, it would be Fields. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
If you gave me 4.5 games for the Chicago Bears, I would probably bet it under until we see Fields. I would imagine we'll see him pretty quickly once Dalton is ineffective. But look, for Najee Harris to be the second favorite, I understand why some may bet him, but in order to be an effective running back, you have to have a line in front of you. And I know Barkley had a huge year with a pretty mediocre line in front of him his rookie year, but I mean, unless if Najee Harris is going to have a big receiving year with Roethlisberger shot-putting him passes, I don't see how he gets there. I don't see how he comes close to.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll get his carries, but how that yards per carry is likely going to be low. Like I said, I really like Najee Harris, the player. He was a bad man.
He was great at Alabama,
but
he was great.
5-1.
Too short.
No thanks. I want to kind of keep this conversation going a little bit on the offensive rookie of the year. Also, let's get updated. Everything that's going on, we could be headed to overtime again. Why don't we just bet that prop every night, Jeff?
That's
I blame you. I blame you.
Yes.
It's the nightcap here on VSiN. Welcome back into the Indeed.com studio. Resumes are good. Resumes with an Indeed skills test are better. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Closing seconds of regulation in Montreal. 2-2 is the score, and Vegas with the puck in Montreal's side of the ice. Ooh. See the crowd is going a little crazy. It looks like we will get overtime in yet another Game 6. We got it last night. Islanders down 2-1 heading into the third period. They tie the game, win it early in overtime, and now headed to overtime. Vegas and Montreal. A couple, I'm not just saying this because we bought in on Vegas, and obviously, one bounce of the puck one way or the other, as we've seen so many times with just Vegas this postseason, both the good and the bad. But down the stretch, I felt like Vegas was controlling that game, Jeff, in the final 5-6 minutes.
Much better the last 5-6 minutes from VGK. Your guy Zubac just jamming it home to give the Clippers their biggest lead of 8 as well. But
we didn't bet it.
Yeah, no, I should have listened to you and actually taken a +2, +110. You actually gave me one that looks okay at the moment. But look, one trend is going to have to get bucked tonight for VGK to witness. In this Stanley Cup playoff, Tim, when the Montreal Canadiens have scored 2 goals so far in any game in this tournament, they have not lost.
Yeah, they're undefeated. Right?
They're undefeated.
Yeah,
have not lost when scoring 2 goals.
And
so that trend's gonna have to go out the window for VGK to win. What is it? DraftKings is -135-ish on VGK. What is it behind us right now? What do our friends at Circa have?
Looks like VGK -130 and the buyback +110 on the Canadiens.
I would only at those numbers. I would only bet the opposite side of what we have.
Sure,
that would be I would not lay $1.30 in an overtime game, no matter who the teams are.
Yeah, and it looks like our friends further down the street at the South Point -145 on the Knights, with a +115 buyback. So best odds on the Canadiens are at the South Point. By the way, the Clippers right now, man, talk about swings in this game. You saw Clippers up 8 after the first quarter. Phoenix won the second quarter by 10. And now the Clippers right now leading the third quarter by 10 as well. It is 66-56 right now. The Clippers leading the Phoenix Suns. It has been an impressive start to this half for the Los Angeles Clippers. I said I should have grabbed the Suns plus the 5. I didn't. And then I said if I had to bet it, I would bet the Clippers money line. I didn't. And now I just sit here and watch and hope that DeAndre Ayton scores a couple more points, because that's all I've got going. He's got 12 points right now. Does DeAndre Ayton, 12 points and 6 rebounds. Devin Booker still sitting with 7. So if you were under, thinking back.
Oh, he's got 4. He's got 4 fouls now, so that's why he's out of the game.
And thinking back on it, it's easy to say this, hindsight being 20/20, but thinking back on it, the guy's got broken nose and a mask that he's never played with before. Yes, some players excel, a la Rip Hamilton, but first game with the mask on, broken nose, you had to have a feeling that Devin Booker was going to struggle. That all being said, getting in front of the Booker train this postseason is not really an enjoyable proposition. But Paul George is buried a 3, and the Clippers now find themselves up 13.
When do we hop in on Phoenix? I mean, if I had bet the Clippers at halftime, we could have had middles all over the place.
I know. Yeah, we would have. I don't know. We'll see. The next TV timeout, maybe it is time to. Do the Clippers just pour it on, or is this a situation where maybe the Suns do find that next gear and don't quit? The Clippers have been that team. The Hawks have been that team this postseason. Is this a spot where Phoenix finds itself battling back? As you see it right there, we'll pop it up here momentarily. DraftKings, I think, is at Phoenix +6.5. Next media timeout, we'll be able to take a look at what it is here at Circa. But I don't know. I mean, if you're getting north of 7, is that somewhere you buy to see this Phoenix team find its way back in this one, Jeff?
Oh, 6.5 when it was 10. So I'd imagine it's more than that now. I don't know. I really have not liked what I've seen from Phoenix in this quarter. Also, Etwan Moore's in the game right now? What?
Pride of Purdue, baby.
Yeah, very odd. Look, the Clippers, give the Clippers credit. Give them credit. Still without Kawhi. Chris Paul back. Taking care of business after they couldn't make a shot in the first half in this third quarter so far. And again, it is kind of one of those, Tim, where neither of us bet the Clippers in this, even though it was like, all right, well.
Yeah, we both liked it.
We were both, again, the VEASAN host lean, that's not bet. They're going to probably come home again. But this was, again, like, the Clippers were not getting swept in this series.
Mm-mm.
This was the game that they were going to win.
Tim Doyle said it last night.
Yeah, like, this is the game that they were more than likely going to win if you didn't think they were going to get swept. And now it's about to be 15 because Booker's got to get out of the way with his four. Oh, George just, wow. But Terrence Mann's there to finish it. So 15 this is the biggest lead that either team has had in this game with 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Just a mess from the Phoenix Suns so far in the second half. They only have 8 points, right? 48 at halftime. They only have 8 points so far in the first 9 minutes of this quarter.
And Booker just clanked another three. It's 71-56. A 17-point advantage in this quarter for the Clippers. It's 25-8 right now for the Clippers over the Phoenix Suns. So that is where we stand with 3:05 to go in this quarter. I just want to go back real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Evans going to join us at the top of the hour. I know there's some season over-unders that he's intrigued about. But going back to Offensive Rookie of the Year, we talked about it with Sean King a little bit earlier this week, and he liked Jalen Waddle. Thinks he's going to have a big year down in Miami, and that led us into a discussion on the Miami Dolphins and what to expect from Tua. And I'll always say this, look around, see what else is out there. You could find Jalen Waddle if you share the same sentiments as former Bucs quarterback Sean King. You could find him at 30-1 at some spots. But looking at that Offensive Rookie of the Year, for me, I've got a couple already. I've got Kyle Pitts at 8-1. No, was it 14-1? Jamar Chase at 14-1, and then I put a little on Trey Sermon at 100-1. The one that bugs me that I didn't get at an early price, I was doing a hit with our good friend Danny Burke. Sometimes you fill in for Mr. Burke there.
The one time, yes.
Yeah, but it was either the day or two after the draft, and DraftKings quickly got their odds up. No one in town had put up their odds on Rookie of the Year, and one that jumped at me was Javonte Williams with Denver. They traded up to get him, similar to what we saw last year with Jonathan Taylor. I had a bet on Jonathan Taylor, got off to a slow start, and I don't think even if he got off to a hot start, he would have won Rookie of the Year just because of the numbers that Justin Herbert was able to put up. And, I mean, honestly, the guy that if he had gotten off to a quicker start and played at the pace that he played at, Justin Jefferson would have had a really good chance, but he got off to a slow start last year too. Just wasn't on the field enough. But Javonte Williams, his number has dropped pretty much everywhere. You see it at 21 at DraftKings. I think there's another spot in town around 25 or 20-1 as well. That guy, he intrigues me, and I know there's some people too that are interested in Michael Carter. With the New York Jets, also a UNC guy. You're shaking your head vigorously over there.
No way. Even though, again, I'm still in the mold of the Jets' offense is going to be terrible, but Adam Gase isn't there anymore.
Suns plus 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. By the way, I'm still in that mindset. But look, he's had a good mini camp. There's no arguing that. He's been very good. The connection between him and Wilson has been pretty good so far. But Tim, if a Jet is winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's going to be Zach Wilson. It's not going to be Michael Carter.
True.
It's just not going to be. And 33-1. That should be more than 33-1. What was the number you got on Sermon?
100-1.
So you beat the pack to the window on that one.
Yeah, and he got. I think he's 50-1.
25 according to our graphic. Yeah.
Yeah. So Trey Sermon, he was a guy that I'll be honest. Kind of like what I do with golf bets. Listening to smart people. Eric Eager very high on Trey Sermon from Pro Football Focus, and I saw that he was 100-1. I said, worth a flyer. And early on, you hear, with the Kyle Shanahan system, being what it is, and I remember, obviously, he did not win Rookie of the Year in 2012. His teammate, RG3, did. But Alfred Morris rushed for over 1,000 yards as a sixth-round pick. Trey Sermon isn't a sixth-round pick. He's probably more talented, pure talent, than a guy like Alfred Morris. You get plugged into that, that zone blocking system, and if you pick it up right away, I think Trey Sermon has an opportunity to really have a big year. At 25-1, I wouldn't have played it, but the fact that it was 100-1 and Kyle Shanahan, it's really the ultimate next man up situation at the running back situation in San Francisco. So that's why I said, yeah, I'll take that as well. And you got the 8.5. The 8.5 is gone. Now it's to 8.
No, I got the 8.5. So there you go.
Good for you.
Look at me. And
it's a juiced 8.
Look at me getting the hook in something that probably won't even come close to hitting.
All right, I'm not playing it.
There you go. See, good discipline.
Refuse.
It's going to land. If it lands 8 now, it'll be good.
No deal. Close that briefcase. I don't want it. Overtime is coming in Montreal. 2-2 is the score. Golden Knights minus 125 heading into that fourth. What is wrong with me? It is technically the fourth.
It is the fourth period.
Into overtime. 71-58 right now in Los Angeles. Under 3 minutes to play in the third period. In game, good number. Jeff got Suns plus the 8.5. Brad Evans coming up top of the hour. It's the Nightcap here on VSiN.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Don't think that you know everything about your child because there's something that they're not telling you. If I knew that this was going on, I would have went out there and brought my child back home.
When Africa Hardy died in 2014, it seemed completely random, but it wasn't. It was part of a pattern. This is Algorithm, a podcast investigating a modern serial killer and how he could have been stopped. Listen to Algorithm now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.